Good afternoon, Pam. Thank you for joining me with all things business and technology. It's a pleasure having you. The CEO and founder of ICE Safety. Wanted to go over some of the things that you're doing at ICE Safety. What is it that you do with ICE Safety, and what was the mission? Why did you create ICE Safety?
Yeah, so ICE Safety Solutions were a full service safety training, safety equipment, and safety consulting firm. And we work all over the US and global as well. And our mission for the company was to really create an organization where we make sure people don't die, right? And we'll do it in all plethora of ways, but really that's our one mission in life.
That's a very good one. So we just came out of the pandemic, and I know everybody knows about the PPE, and I'm pretty sure you do a lot of that. Is that part of what you do at ice safety? Is it training? What are the different aspects of ice safety?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So, for the past 20 plus years, it's now coming on our 25th year, but we always provided safety training and we always provided safety equipment. So, safety equipment could be a defibrillator, right, that you want to hang on the wall in your organization, or it could be a trauma bag for an emergency response team, right, or earthquake supplies for all of your employees, or storm supplies. And then the pandemic hit. And of all the supplies and medical equipment we had, they only wanted three things. They wanted N95s, they wanted thermometers, and hand sanitizers. And so those parts of the shelves were like wiped away. I'm like, do you want a defibrillator? We got those too. People are like, no, we just want those three things. So yeah, during the pandemic, we were importing them from overseas and bringing them over. And it was a very laborious process because the PPE here landed in the US that we would normally, pull from had all depleted. So we had to bring it in overseas.
Wow. Now, I know you do other things besides just PPE. One of the things is the actual technology of it. Can you discuss how you came up with the idea of VR training and what that looks like for you?
Yeah. So, David, we have this thing in our organization where we call let's kill it. So every 5 years, mandatory, we look at all of our product and services and we kill it. And what that means is we pretend that corporations no longer ask for that service anymore. And where that came from is it kind of came from the number two pencil. Remember, everybody used to use a number two pencil, right? And now nobody uses a number two pencil. So where is that company now? Or the Kodak disposable camera? Where is that? And so I always said, as the CEO running our organization strategically, is every 5 years, let's get rid of a service. Let's pretend the world doesn't need it anymore, and then come up with a new product and service. And so every 5 years we would do that. And that's how we grew our entire portfolio of products and services. And one year I had said, wow, what if people don't buy face-to-face CPR training, for example? Where would my company be? And so, we went through what would that look like. And so we ended up coming up with virtual reality, right? And so with our virtual reality, we said, what if we put ourselves in a virtual headset and we taught CPR, active shooter, how to get out of a fire, how to evacuate out of a smoke-filled room, right? How would we do that if we were in a VR headset? And that was the strategic innovation. And happy to say, we're in here. So yeah, so all of our safety training is now, we still do face to face, but we actually built it all inside of a VR headset as well.
That that's amazing that you go through every 5 years, let's kill it. How did you come up with that philosophy? Is that coming from like a mentorship or?
Yeah, no, it literally came from me being a consumer. right? Of being a consumer of, donuts, and then nobody makes donuts, and, or a taxi. Like, how and why does that happen, that these beloved things that we just fall in love with slowly just becomes obsolete? And I never wanted my product and service to become obsolete. Now, I did have a mentor, and I remember the mentor said to me, what got you here will not get you there, right? What got you here will not get you there. And that was kind of the other impetus as to every 5 years, I should just get rid of one product and service, or just pretend like it's no longer needed, right? It's no longer requested. So I think it's a little bit of what got me here won't get me there, and making sure that we are always on the cutting edge of what the world needs from us versus what I think we should provide to the world.
That's definitely a big change from actually having a product that you have to go out and have inventory, to the tech field, and the change of that and the rapidness of technology evolving, and now you're in VR. How is that going for you, and what does your business outcome look for that? Or are you on your next 5 year, let's kill it?
Yeah, so the every 5 year kill is every 5th year. So it's like we started our company in 2000. So it's like 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020, and 2025 is coming up next year. So we're getting ready for the next kill. So right around like 2020, right before 2020, 2019 is when I started, preparing for the next kill. And that was the VR. So we kind of started conceptualizing in 2018, 2019, we built it. And then the pandemic, like we didn't know. And we're like, oh no. Well, we had just built the first beta, right? Because again, early 2020, we're building the beta. And then in March, when everything shut down, all of our customers, everybody's working from home, except for the water utility industry, the electric industry, the gas industry, telecom. All these companies, they had to keep working, right? Because we need internet, we need gas, we need light, we need water. And so they were like, Pam, we need training. We still need CPR first aid training. What are we going to do? You can't come on site. I was like, well, I got these VR headsets. And I said, why don't I ship them to wherever the employees are? So we would ship them to their house. We would ship them to their hotel if they're in a hotel, and they would receive it. And we would have the gas, water, utility industry. They would Zoom with us with their headset, like at a park or in a car. And they would put on the headset and actually learn whatever safety training, right, they were scheduled to learn in the headset. And that's pretty much what we were doing all through the pandemic. So it became a different logistic for us, right? Because now we're shipping you a headset and the CPR doll, and then now we have to get everything back. So that's kind of what we were doing during the pandemic. And then as soon as we came out of the pandemic, like 2021, 2022, customers are like, oh, we don't want in person. Like you can come in person, but bring those headsets, because employees fell in love with them. They loved learning in a way that immersed them in the fire, immersed them with the shooter, immersed them with a cardiac arrest patient.
That's amazing. I love hearing this story of how you have evolved, and the growing part of it. How did you get to where you are today? Did you go through schooling for this? Is it something that you just fell in love with as life went on? How did you, Pam, become great at this?
Yeah, I think the first thing is everything started when I was 16. When I was 16, my dad had a heart attack, and I had taken CPR as a lifeguard. So I was there, and had to go through all the steps, and my dad survived. So that's kind of how I knew I wanted to be around life safety and CPR and this kind of medical stuff. I then went on to UC Davis, so I have a degree in biological sciences, and then went on to do heart research, is pretty much what I was doing. And I was doing that for a while. And when it came to the innovation of VR, there's a very pivotal person. I'm just going to call her out. She's retired now, but her name was Joan Kerr from Pacific Gas and Electric. So she's retired now. I'll let her know I gave her a shout out. But she came to me and said, and Kaiser Permanente too, they had said this to me too. They said, Pam, you need to make sure that the top 10 technologies that are going to change the world, you should embed that within your organization. So I then went on and I looked up the top 10 technologies that are going to change the world. Now, mind you, David, this is 2018. Okay. And it was like Internet of Things, AI, virtual reality, crypto, right? So I'm reading through all the top 10 that are going to change the world. And I'm like, well, I got to pick one. So I'm like, I'll pick virtual reality, right? Because I figured I could put myself in the world. So I think it's just watching trends and watching what's going to change the world and going with the trend and figuring out what is the one thing I can implement into my business, even though I was never a gamer, right? I was never a gamer. I never knew like what it could be, but I think it's just keeping your mind open to innovation. And when it comes to innovation, instead of small businesses saying, well, no, that's not going to work, it's better to say yes, and it can work this way. Like, don't say no in the building of innovation. Just say yes, yes. And I mean, whoever thought I could order a car on my phone and have it show up?
That's amazing that there's two things that you just touched on is every 5 years you have a kill switch and thinking about that. But then now there's another concept, yes, and. Can you elaborate on that? It makes so much sense to me. I'd love everyone else to know why you say that.
Yeah, so the concept of yes and the issue with the word no, it's so negatively connotated for so many different reasons. Back to like when we were 2, 3, 4 years old, and our parents are like, no, right? And so it's filled with so many negative connotations. So I actually came up with a term. I actually trademarked it, and it's no equals new opportunity. So NO is new opportunity. And so I always let people know, first off, try not to use the word no when you're innovating, because then it'll stifle you and it'll trigger all these childhood feelings that we have, right? And if you go with yes and, right? So if someone comes to you with an idea of, hey David, or hey Pam, maybe we can put CPR training into a virtual headset, instead of saying, no, I don't know how that works, just go, yes, and we could do this. Yes, and. And so every person in the organization is empowered to say yes, and. Whether it's going to work or not, it doesn't have to make sense. And if you have to use the word no, it should be used as new opportunity. So if there really is a no, then say, no, we can't do XYZ, but we could if we came up with a new opportunity to do JKL, right? So always say, if you have to use the word no, you have to say, no, we can't do this, except if we have a new opportunity to have the headset, be wired on what, you know what I mean? Like something like that. So it's really using new opportunity as a way to say yes and constantly in the innovation process.
Wow. Yeah, that's something that I'm gonna have to keep written in front of me, because that's in sales or in life, that's a good concept. Because we do, instant reaction is always no, or say something is, the price isn't just right for you. And you're selling your service, and a lot of people are saying the price. But using yes, but this is what you're getting for it, and actually elaborating on that. That's an awesome thing.
Well, it's yes and, because but kind of negates what you just said. So even if you're selling a service and the customer says, no, this is really not the right time, then you can follow up and say, well, let's create a new opportunity to be able to exceed your expectations on a future project, right? Maybe it's a no today. Let's come up with a new opportunity of creating a technology that does meet your needs, or creating a scenario that does meet your needs, right? Come up with a new opportunity. Like I tell my clients all the time, if the world were your oyster and here's the pearl, what do you really wish our organization can do? What is the new opportunity that our organization can do for you that maybe others in the industry or other vendors were not able to create? What's the new opportunity we can create for you, right? As opposed to maybe other organizations. Because we tell our customers all the time, you're a new customer, you're a new opportunity, and everything we do is going to be new. So have the pearl, like what's going to be the pearl for this oyster?
That's a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. Now, going to some personal questions. What's one of your biggest failures? Whether it's in the personal, I know you're an athlete, or in business, your business biggest failure.
So I'll start personal, because obviously, like CEOs, we're so hard on ourselves. I think the biggest failure is not believing in myself. And I really had to learn to do that. And if others believe in me, then I really need to believe in yourself. You know what I mean? So I think it's believing in myself. And I take it from, every now and then, like that voice from being a little kid comes up. Like I remember, so, I'm not sure if you know, but I ran track, and very successful. So in college, I was a 4-time NC2A All-American. So NCAA All-American means you are the top 7 in the US in your sport. I still hold the number 7 time in the 3,000 meters. So when I talk about my biggest failure, I remember I was running the track and I was running past my coach and I was just having a bad race. And I ran by my coach and she goes, "You're an All-American, run like one." And I was like, oh yeah. So as a CEO, when I'm feeling insecure or I'm not sure of myself and, I'm just having a bad day, I remind myself, like, Pam, you're the CEO, work like one, right? And that kind of gets me grounded to like, hey, believe in yourself, right? So that's really kind of on a personal, that's probably one failure. On the business side, I would say the one failure is I was overcapitalized and I was bleeding money. My staffing was too high, my payroll was too high, and I didn't want to make the tough decision to reduce my payroll, right? To reduce the headcount. And I became overcapitalized. I got in debt. I bid on projects that were low bid, that was not profitable because I wanted the name of the client on my client list. And I really learned that sometimes having that client name, while also not carrying too much payroll, I mean, we were just significantly in debt. And fortunately, we had some phenomenal years and I was able to pay off the debt and get out of debt. So now we're debt free. But that was a rude awakening when you're hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt, and not like $1,000 in debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. It takes a long time to dig out of that. So I had to change the business model. I had to change the pricing and I had to reduce staff. And, I have to remember, if I don't reduce staff today because I want to keep everybody, I'm going to lose my whole company and I'm going to have to bankrupt. And what do I want to do? Do I want to lose a few staff, or do I want to bankrupt the whole company and cause everybody in the organization to go down with the ship?
Wow, there's a lot that when I rewatch this, I'm gonna be excited to get a lot of these nuggets, because I think the audience will also be able to get it between yes and the every 5 years kill switch, the
No, it's new opportunity. Yeah.
it is okay to also let people go if it's going to be based on your business, and we make these tough decisions as the CEO. It's important. I know our time's coming short, so one of the questions that I always want to ask is there a question that you wish I asked during this interview?
Is there a question you wish I asked? Yeah, I would like you to ask me what inspires me to keep going every single day for 25 years.
Wow, that's a good one. I will use it next time. And actually, why don't you just tell me?
All right. Well, what inspires me to keep going every single day is HOPE, HOPE. So it's an acronym for me. So H is happiness. So every entrepreneur, every business owner, even if you're employed, you should be happy. You should really love what you do and do what you love. O is opportunity. You seek out the opportunity never comes to you. P is to be profitable. Profitable whether you're a business owner or profitable if you're an employee. Make sure that job is paying you what you need to be profitable in your own personal life. And E is for excellence, right? You always have to be excellent in front of the customer, with your family, even as employees, a business owner. No one can be more excellent than you. So happiness, opportunity, profitability, and excellence.
Wow, that's so awesome, Pam. I know it's short and it came quick, but I thank you very much, and I can't wait to see your next 5 year journey, because we're coming up on the 5th year next year. So um, I love everything that you're doing, and I'm sure that our audience is going to take away a lot of different nuggets that I took away too.
Great. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share. I super appreciate it.
Thank you, Pam. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you'll tune in next time. For more information on how we can help your business, check out our website at sigmaways.com. I'd love to hear your feedback. Please send me a message with any topic or questions you want me to cover. Also, if you're in the world of business and technology, I would love to have you as a guest. Please hit the like and subscribe button below and stay up to date on the next video. Once again, I'm David, and this is All Things Business and Technology. Cheers.